So, why does America like black violence so much? Is it just black violence or is it violence in general? Let's just go ahead and check out some clips. We can talk about it.
Black people commit violent crimes at higher rates per capita than any other group in America. The majority of violent crimes are committed by white people, a minority by black people. But that percentage is much higher than the percentage of Americans who are black. And it's disproportionate relative to other groups. This is true. Saying it shouldn't be controversial, but this is how people respond when someone says it.
These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
They're 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in
So, wow. All right. So, Charlie is out here, I know what happened to him was American tragedy, is what they say. But why feel the need to add these percentages? Is he just talking to off the top of his head per se? Is he adding to exaggerate his point? But nonetheless, the data does show that white people commit more crimes than black people. And the exoneration rate, it's much higher within the black community than any other race in general. So, what does that tell you? Black people get arrested for being black and also proven not to commit these crimes thereafter. All right, guys, let's just keep watching. With that first clip, that's a lot to bite off. So just go ahead and tell me what you think in the comments below. But before we jump into more clips, don't forget to hit the like button, comment at any time, and let's keep watching.
he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations.
Black people are only 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders. Why?
Because black people tend to be in lower economic statuses.
So you think that poverty equals crime?
It's highly correlated. A lot of studies
this is where
on
we
that.
disagree. What an insult to the working poor of this country.
So why do you think black people commit more
Well,
crimes,
first
Charlie
of all,
Kirk?
what percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
25%. 75% of black youth are raised without a father in the home. 75%. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
Wow. So therefore, we're switching it up now. So is it because of where we grew up, or if it's in the black community, you are raised without the father, you are most likely to go to jail because of statistics? But what about the white community? Do they always grow up without fathers, or what? I mean, so with that being said, is it true we can actually rely on data to say that just because you grew up in a household without a dad, you have a higher chance of going to jail? Not dependent on race in general, but just in general, is that a factor, really? So, but we have more clips to check out.
It's not a
Why do you think that's
racism
a
problem. It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women that they have impregnated.
I want to talk about this for two reasons. Number one, because it's very true. And number two, because she's a badass and you should go follow her. The demonization of black people in this country is very confusing to me. It's a social norm here that black people are considered more dangerous or more violent than others. But that's not historically accurate. White people were the ones that came in and killed millions of indigenous people that already lived here. White people were the ones that enslaved black people, beat them into submission, black women, and separated black families from each other. White people started the KKK. White people have done more harm in this country than any minority group. White people are the bad guys. Why are we still trying to portray the black people as the bad guys? We have the truth at our fingertips.
Black people.
Well, that's pretty obvious. You got to have someone to blame. You got to have somewhere to shift your focus when you're doing something wrong. So why not blame someone or a race that the majority probably lives in a poor community? And there were, look, oh, that's easy to shift blame and shift the focus. Hey, oh, they live in the ghetto, they live in the projects, or they're poor, they don't make a lot of money, so they are highly motivated to rob and steal and these sort of things. All right, they're uneducated, they're like unlikely to go to school or graduate, so therefore they're unlikely to get a good job, and it goes on, and you build this narrative now that there it's easier to pinpoint crime and violence just on one race because hey, they're a small percentage, they're a minority. The black community is 13%. We've all seen the numbers. It's a repetitive number you hear in so many clips and so many podcasts and whatever. But it is so easy to shift the blame there and not hold focus on the majority when your whole audience is the majority. Let's just face it. If your big audience is white and everybody's like, did you do something wrong? Did you do something wrong? I don't really think that all the white people be like, yeah, we're the bad guys. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, you take a majority of people and you shift that focus to the minorities and give them and paint this reason in this narrative that they're just so bad. And therefore, right now, you have a majority of people pointing at a minority, picking on the little guys, I guess you can say, and say, hey, they're down bad. And here's the reasons why, just to shift the focus off themselves.
Black people are naturally violent.
Why do you think that?
Because you commit all the crime in America.
Okay, well, where do you think most crime happens in America, period, regardless of race?
I guess it would be poor neighborhoods. But
okay, and how large is the black community a part of these poor communities?
Largely, but that has nothing to do with slavery. No, I'm not done. Okay, did you know that black people are 12 times more likely to be arrested for drugs? We are 50% of the exonerations in court
the black
because we are getting falsely arrested and charged. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, based on the stats that you're talking about,
it doesn't matter what you're saying to me. I'm only going to believe what I want to believe.
Whatever fits my agenda, we can black people are quickly put that together and put an end to this ignorance.
You're ignorant.
You're not even listening to me.
So there you go, man. A preview into an argument on why numbers, we can yell out all the numbers we want, and some people will still not pay attention, or they just can't accept the fact that these numbers do tell false narratives a lot. And when you look at the majority picture, or actually look at data in general, you can tell the real picture. It's not just about black people who are a witch to minority in almost all these situations. But the audience still refuses to accept the obvious that, hey, white people still have a bigger part in American violence than a lot of races.
White people. If crime statistics really mattered to us, we would be talking about white men every damn day. We as white people love to throw around statistics when it comes to the black community. We love to misconstrue data about poverty rates, crime rates, single parent households. Here's the thing. If you really want to talk about problematic behavior in terms of statistics, we need to talk about white men. Most mass shootings in America? White men. School shootings? White men. Intimate partner violence, typically known as domestic violence? White men. Police brutality and systemic violence? White men. Online harassment and extremism? White men. Domestic terrorism? White men. Serial killers. White men.
Jeez, man. So the list goes on and on. Yes, these crazy and heinous crimes are always the majority race, which is white. But yet we still shift the focus on the minorities. And not only that, we've been focusing on the black community, but let's just throw in a different one. Our brown brothers and sisters in the Latin Spanish community, they get their fair share of getting picked on as well. And we're going to say, hey, it's easy to shift the blame and say, hey, immigrants, they create crime and they commit felonies and they do this and they do that. But yes, so does every other race. But we choose not to showcase every other race, but the small ones. Why? I really would love you as the audience to leave an honest opinion on why you think we do that as Americans.
Yo, this comment is super mad funny. Look at how many times black was listed. He didn't even mention white on white crime, which is that is the biggest crime ever. The most violent crimes and the most crimes committed in America is white on white. But we live so rent free, as a man was saying, so rent free in his head. All he could think was black on black. What's black on black crime? What about black on white crime? All crime happens, man. The biggest problem of all of this is why are we acting like crime committed against the same race or opposite race is the problem of why the eggs are high. That's why America's going to shit. Why the farmers are having the worst time probably in years. We are focused and trying to, those are bigger problems. We worried about black on black, 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 black.
Well, it's easy again to deflect what's going on around you on violence, man. Let's just face it. America is raised on racism, political, and violence for the most part. It's been that way for a very long time. All right, let's go back. We talk about military, our military going to war with other nations. We talk about slavery. We talking about the battles of freedom. We talking about civil war. Hey, a lot of how we got here was based on bloodshed, to be honest, and battles, violence, and all, and racism, to be honest. We've got here on those core groups. That's kind of the foundation. It's more American than what you really think it is. Racism and violence is what I'm talking about.
Americans, one thing that we so conveniently forget is that racism and violence are politics in America. It's the foundation of politics. Racism has been the foundation of every system of America, ever. Violence has been the foundational core belief of America forever.
Oh man, so we're about to get into a clip where this guy pretty much breaks it down, and I'm gonna spend a short time because the video is rather long. But he starts off with a little basis, and then he just kind of jumps into the rest of the video that you won't see. It's more stuff and topics and words that I can't necessarily share on YouTube, but we get the picture. But let's take a quick look.
1967, the civil rights activist H. Rap Brown said that violence is a part of American culture. It is as American as cherry pie. And it's hard to disagree. From the very beginning, this country's history has been a story of violence. This country was founded on the extermination of indigenous people.
Black people.
So obviously he left off right there, and that's where it gets ugly. And I did talk about that just briefly, but hey, how do we get here? We got here by doing a lot of things the rough way, the wrong way. We didn't ask. we didn't come over here and say, "Hey, can I have some of this? Can you share?" No, I mean, a lot of what happens here is based on violence and taking and racism and the indifference of skin color. Let's just put it like that. Who's better than what? Blah, blah, blah. This and that. Whatever percentages. But really, why are we truly obsessed with black violence today, 2025, moving on? My opinion is just so easy to shift the focus on smaller groups where it's happening to rather not focus on ourselves. So what do we do as a majority of Americans, and the majority of us are white, is that we find the smaller people to pick on and to shift blame to somewhere else. That's what we've been doing for a long time now. So guys, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.